we don't need that much to do what we do and to be artists. And I think that that's an opportunity for everybody to have, you know, success in their lives, and to be like, everybody here could kill it in the garden and take home the championship, or like, not everybody could take home the championship, but we're going to talk about natural healing, or no, sorry, natural farming today, and then tomorrow we're going to talk about natural healing, just about some of the kind of more cutting edge things that we do, some of the things that we don't, you know, usually get a chance to elaborate on, and we're going to open it up for questions at the end. So if you have any questions, feel free to, you know, ask, or hold it till the end when we have our Q&A. But we just wanted to kind of talk about our history, and then some of the things that we do and why we do it. So maybe Jeff, oh well, maybe I should talk into the mic, huh?
No, you're good.
But yeah, okay, but yeah, maybe you want to talk a little bit about how we got started, or how you got started into growing?
Yeah, sure.
And organics?
Well, I started growing seriously for trying to make a profit for patients probably like 13 years ago. And I definitely wasn't organic at the time, to tell you the truth. You know, I was using a lot of stuff like advanced, and that got too pricey. And I've tried just about everything that's out in the market. And I basically found that organic was where I wanted to go, because there's nothing, the taste was everything, and it was just, I just needed something that didn't make my ears ring and give me like toxic racing through my system, which was what advanced is really known to do. And so I started experimenting with different things. I started reading as much as I could. And Microbe Life had a product called Quantum Growth, which fascinated me, that I started using. And
so that was your first introduction into organics?
That was the first real introduction into wanting to go in that direction, with using the microbials. And it was something that none of my peers knew anything about at the time. And I'm the kind of person who really sees, I want to see the big picture. I want to be experimenting all the time to find what really is special and works well. And so I started using that on a consistent basis. And soils, use different kind of soil recipes. I used the Pura Vida line. I've just tried about everything. But what I found that what I need to do is keep it as simple as I possibly can. And using all these other elements, that what I was using is not only costly, but it takes a lot of time, and it can kind of confuse things. So we began using soil recipes and living soil close to like 8 years ago. And that's where what we're using now is a lot of soil that's made by M3, and a lot of we're using crystals in our work in the root area, and a lot of the work is about our attitude, the attitude that we have, what we want to achieve with our work, what we want the potential of the work to be, and just the dynamic. We want it to be the very finest cannabis found anywhere. We want it to be as exclusive, and we want it to be a part of our spirit, and that's what we really exude and want to put out there. So I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, and there's so much to talk about with these concepts, but the way Gage Green, I think, grows is we've evolved from something that was kind of at one place into a higher realm, and using just natural methods. I think rooted in the divine is what kind of separates us from a lot of other people, and that's basically
kind of go into the way this all evolved. It was a real spiritual process, and we essentially had like a spiritual awakening process through cannabis, and it transformed the way we did business, the way we grew, the way we thunk. Everything was like changed and shifted to a more holistic process, you know what I mean? And it just became so obvious when you learn how the industry works and how the nutrient companies and how the systems work, and you understand that it's just trying to shortcut nature or bypass certain crucial, steps, that you start to like wonder why you even need it. And we started to discover that when you take shortcuts in life, whether it be in business or in your garden or with relationships, what essentially is going to happen is you're just not going to have a holistic concept, and you're not going to have a good product. And what we started out as was we just wanted to have the best, and it wasn't really about having organic, but you can't not have organic if you want the best. And at this point, if it's not grown holistically, and that plant isn't made with nature, I'm gonna have reactions to it, or I'm gonna get sick, or it's gonna hurt me, and I just can't have it. And it has to be grown to perfection. I mean, this is like our connection to the divine, and how can it not be the best? How can it be anything less? And why are we accepting crap? Like, why are we accepting stuff with preservatives in it? Why are we accepting stuff that we don't know what's in it? Why? It's just weird. And essentially we treat our plants like our children. We treat our plants like our friends, our family. And I don't know, like, if you don't visit your plants, or if you don't talk to them, or if you're not in a good mood around them, you're not going to be able to grow well. And this is something that we've basically had to evolve as people. You can't grow well if you're not a good person. You can't have a good business if you're not a good person. At least the way we're doing it, like if it's holistic, it's impossible. And we've had to basically work on ourselves in so many ways just to be able to overcome everything we've had to deal with, whether it be like disasters in the garden, disasters with the company, people ripping us off, whatever. Once you're able to deal with all that, that's what makes you a good grower. And that's the other thing too, like you could be all happy, or I don't know, like to be able to overcome some of the most difficult challenges in a garden, you have to have fortitude. You have to be able to go all in and not give up. And you can't give up on your plants. And we've never chopped everything down like that. We've never given up on our plants. And essentially what it is we know how, the way to become a good grower is to know how to overcome every obstacle. It's not to know how to grow. You can get that in a book, but it's how to overcome every day-to-day, minute-by-minute challenges. And so anyways, like, that whole spiritual experience has allowed us to become better growers. And that's essentially like our attitude around plants is when we look at them as constantly being better. We look at them at their full potential. We look at them at where they could be, not necessarily where they are or where they were or how much worse it could get. You know what I mean? Like, you keep imagining beauty and you keep imagining wholeness because you're kind of like the Father, you're the God. And if you around your plants, if you can't shine on them and if you can't be that ray of confidence, then who's gonna be it? And that's how you grow good plants. And we've in that journey we've developed methods with organic farming, with relationships with amazing soil producers, amazing ferment, probiotic guys, and it's basically because we wanted the best, and we don't want to take shortcuts. And like we've been able to kind of like channel new methods of growing and new ideas at this point just from our meditation and just from our relationship with cannabis. And like 2 years ago when we got raided, we had no money, right? I was like, what are we gonna, we got to start businesses. So we did like microgreens. We started selling herbs. We started trying to make websites for people. We, like all this shit. We were growing, and like, but the idea is like we were doing everything, and through that process we learned everything. Like, I mean, yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like, I almost wouldn't trade it for anything. But like now we grow with crystals. That was a new thing. Crystals was a way of helping me get through the challenges that I had 2 years ago. It was what got me here. It's and like and it just became so obvious. Like, if I'm surrounding myself with crystals and it's making me feel like I could walk through walls and overcome any challenge and stand up to any kind of bullshit authority, that why couldn't my plants have that? And so like that all came together. And I know like a lot of people make fun of us for it, but it's like, it's the future. You know what I mean? Like, they don't even know yet. And then like, how can you grow without rocks in your soil? Just think about it. And then like also I mean, besides just rock dust, and then there's like, and then the other thing is like we started our herb company, and then we were like taking herbs because we were sick, and we needed all the help we could get. We were detoxing, and we were just transforming ourselves, and the herbs were huge. Like, literally, I don't know if you guys know what herbs do. Anybody? They shit on pharmaceuticals. I don't know how to even say it, but like you just can't even compare. Herbs are like, will make your genetic potential, get rid of genetic disorders besides just that basic shit. You know what I mean? So that's what herbs do. So we essentially now, I mean, I know like that's a natural farming concept, but we are now using the most potent herbs we can get our hands on in nature, in herbalism, in our local area, in our house, around our house, at the natural food store, wherever. And I'm just trying to make my plants like everything that I want to be, and everything that I want in me, I give to my plants. And people say the plants aren't like humans. Plants and people aren't the same. It's not true at all. Everything I do on my plants, I do to myself, very much. And it's and it works. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you want to be healthy and you want healthy plants, then you should do the best things that people do to themselves and the best things that plants do to themselves. You should share that knowledge, And that's kind of like that's a lot of where how our concepts came from, like using the mushrooms, using the herbs, using flowers, using fruits, using crystals. It's all shit we do, you know. And it's cutting edge shit though. Like it's stuff that maybe science doesn't prove. Maybe nobody else is doing. Maybe I can't explain clear enough. But this is the future. And using herb extracts, using mushroom extracts, besides just, you know, whatever, is the future. If not, I mean, it's already been. It's always been. But it's just like we're just kind of understanding that now. And it's transformed our garden. I mean, he could talk more about it. Sorry, I've just been hogging the mic. But
no, that's okay. You're doing a great job.
We have our GGG natural mushroom herb extracts and mushroom herb extracts. So like for the growth, it's like roots, bark, stems, leaves, you know, and you can use the mushrooms. And then in flower, it would be like the herbal flowers, fruits, berries, and every, you know, things that are good for fruiting. And it's what we do, and it's been pretty amazing. So I'd highly recommend it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I especially love the mushroom mix that we've been using, because you only use like a minuscule amount of it. It goes a long way, and my plants are protected. I don't have any more mold anymore. I mean, it's like
you almost can't.
Right. It's like this sets up a symbiotic relationship with the plant that's incredible. And I was talking about the microbe life, which I was always impressed with, because that seemed to set up a beautiful relationship with the root zone and everything. But you know, these additions will keep you know, kind of give.
They're like the best
of the best
chemicals. Like the herbs that have the strongest resiliency and vigor and healing potential in nature. Whatever is in there, it's not just NPK. You know what I mean? It's way more complex than that at this point. And those are the chemicals that we're seeking, you know, that are from the best aspects of nature. Yeah. So
another thing we've been using is sea moss, and not only is that good for human consumption, like I take it every day in a smoothie, but you give a little bit of the sea moss to the plant in like a foliar. I give it in foliar in veg, and then water it in flower, and it's incredible. It has a lot of really wonderful things.
Yeah, it's got all the minerals, and it's got a lot of calcium and phosphorus, which is essential, which is what the plants crave in flower when it flips. It's like one of the, you know, it's like, and then that's calphos, because calcium makes it go like this, or phosphorus makes it go like this, and calcium makes it go like this. And so yeah, like calcium and phosphorus amended at the beginning of flower is incredible. People normally use eggshells and blah blah blah, and we don't eat eggs, so we use sea moss. Sea moss has a lot of 92 essential minerals, something like that. It's really good. We make sea moss smoothies. It's like makes your smoothies taste like fish.
Yeah, it smells like fishy. So,
but it's good. I don't know.
But it's really good for you, and you know, I think I mean, to tell you the truth, we didn't really have a outline for what we were going to talk about.
No, this is improv 101.
Yeah, this is like, but you know, a good topic I think would be, or a good conversation is to talk about all the relationships that the plant shares with the grower, you know, or the human being, you know, and to really, like Mike was saying, to really keep, you know, the plant healthy and to keep yourself healthy. It's really like a relationship that you have with the plant, and it's a spiritual relationship.
Yeah, there's like growers who are dying, you know. Not to make fun of that, but like there's growers who are taking care of plants while they're dying at the expense, you know, and it's like just ridiculous. And that's not how symbiosis works. That's like the plant is parasiting you, or like you're parasiting yourself through, I don't know. It's everything you touch, everything you do to the plant should be healing to you and should have the same effect on you. Like okay, might sound weird, and I kind of mentioned it at the with Microbe Life, but I bathe in the humic and fulvic, and I use magnesium salts and all this shit, but I also use like Green Eagle's insect annihilator. I just use a little bit, and then and this is just in my baths and magnesium, all stuff. But the idea is it's incredible for healing. And what's good for the plants is also good for people. Also, a lot of the microbes for plants are good for people. It's just like they don't tell you they're 100% good. A lot of them are the same. Like, how could they be different? It's just like you go touch it, it's on you. Like, why would it just die when it touched you? There's so much symbiosis that we're being told doesn't exist on purpose, and you just have to see through the lies. There's people lying to us. Anyways, and then besides that, another way of plant people relationship, we can see how a plant grows within a period of 3 months as to how to perform our best, how to give it the best environment and its nutritional needs, and what that yields and what that produces in a plant. And so ultimately that same effect happens to people and other life forms, and we draw parallels to these things, you know what I mean? So through working with plants, we've learned how to heal ourselves. We've learned how families work. We've learned how genetics work. We learn, inheritance works, how epigenetics work, how to heal genetics, and then how to breed, better genetics. Because all these, it's all about genetics. That's what your brother would say. It's all about genes, because you can actually change your genes. You can heal your genes. You can modify your genes endogenously, not chemically or through some weird stuff. The idea is that you're the master of your genes, and you're also a master of the programming around you, the coding around you of the plants, and everything you do to it and how you speak to it and how you look at it affects how it is 100%. And there's and that's what you have to know to become, a true master of the plant. And it's something that science can't teach you, something that lab reports will never tell you, and it's how you're connected to these things and what you can learn from them and stuff like that. So,
yeah, the plant definitely picks up on positive affirmations with symbology and spelled out words, and we studied, and I know that the work of Dr. Emoto is pretty valid. I don't know if anybody's familiar with his work, but one person. But it's just if you put signs that say love and joy and growing strong in your grow room, I bet you're going to have a greater result than you would without those things. And that's basically kind of a testament as to where you believe you're at, and where you want your plants to be. So
yeah, that's kind of what we represent. It's just achieving more with less, almost with just your mind, and how to do that in the garden, how to do that at home, how to do that in order to achieve success in your business, in your life, and all these things. It's all mental games and mental frames and programming. And how were you raised, and how do you see things, and how do you formulate them and fix them? And there's a solution to every problem, and we want to be the solution. We want to find the solution. Ultimately, we've been given those answers, just out of sheer necessity or trying to survive. And it's messages from God, and they've basically led us to these really cool methods that have basically allowed us to push the boundaries and have plants that just are incredible and have another level of meditation. And so it's really an honor to be able to be here just to talk about them. And we're going to be doing classes at the end of when this wraps up, next month, we're going to be doing online seminars and classes step by step about how we do things, and It's simple. It's really simple. And like, see, this is the thing is like, we're not that special. We're cool and all, but like, we don't have that much success in their lives, and to be like, everybody here could kill it in the garden and take home the championship, or like, not everybody could take home the championship, but like, could be a champion in your own, hood or your own household or whatever. Like, yeah. But like, I want to see everybody win. Like, because when we win, that means everybody smokes better pot, and everybody's sick right now. I mean, like, if people aren't smoking good weed, they get sick, And so we're gonna be teaching people how to have success in any kind of situation. Basically, how we do things, which is really simple. We basically only have like a few inputs, like 5 inputs that we amend, like top dress, throughout flower, like sea moss, and we use the herbs, and I use insect frass, a little few things, but like
Papa's poop.
Oh yeah, we use Papa's poop, and with the Michigan made mix, that's like been a killer combination. They're over there, so I would highly recommend it.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it's really shouldn't be that hard, and you should be able to do it in a way that benefits you, and we want to teach it the holistic aspect, so that in your own life, at any time, if you have a pain somewhere in your body, if you have a situation anywhere in your garden, that you have all the tools already in your house right now. You don't have to buy anything. You yourself can fix all of it with your own hands if you knew how. And we want to teach people that. We don't want to get too complicated. We don't want to teach you 50 parts, all these steps. It should be easy. It should be intuitive. It should be like, you should be able to taste it and know if the plant's gonna like it, And that's where we're getting to. So like, I don't know how much time we have left, but like, we have a lot. One of the things like I want to talk about was fruit juices. Does anybody use fruit juices in their garden? One guy. One guy, ferment. What do you do? Okay, so fermented plant juices and stuff. So like, I use just raw plant juices. Like, who here drinks fermented plant juices besides wine? What do you drink?
Like water kefir. I make like different drinks out of it.
Oh, water kefir. Yeah, but like rarely do we ferment fruit though, right?
It's like a fruit mesh.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, but like, yeah, like the idea is fruit is best raw. It's just a fact. Like, you ferment it just becomes alcoholic, Like, the fructose and sugar is really easily converted to alcohol, and it's just not something that we really ferment too often. We at least I like my fruit fresh, without the alcohol flavor. And so like, I think, well, why wouldn't my plants like that? Why would my plants want alcohol or a fermented flavor, or why is it always vinegary? You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's bad. I have fermented foods once in a while, but is everything I drink fermented? No. In fact, a lot of it is not. Most of it's not, because then it requires my body to produce its own enzymes. It's just a lot of other things, like not saying that probiotics or fermentation is a shortcut, but it's not raw. It's like, do we really need a shelf life of 2 years? Right? Like, I could juice it right now and feed my plants, and it's good. And so the idea is, so anyways, that's just going back to the point, is that we've been using raw and sometimes pasteurized fruit juices. And fruit juices are an incredible source of benefit, like carbohydrates that are instantly available to plants that create fruits that create fruit. What a concept. Why are we using molasses, like cane? That's not fruit sugar. You know what I mean? That doesn't taste good. Nobody drinks molasses water. You know what I mean? So I think about that for my plants. Like, I like smoothies. I like this. So like 5 mils a gallon of some coconut water, some aloe juice, some pear juice, some mango juice, some whatever you got going on, apple juice,
Pear juice.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
yeah, and it's like, it just, your buds will taste better, your fruit will be fatter, you'll have more happy plants because they like the sugar. So that's something that we were gonna teach in the class, and I don't really tell people how I do it, because I just wanted to see if anybody else was doing it, and nobody is. It's like, what? Like, I just have to go to my freaking refrigerator and grab a bottle of fruit that I'm just juiced or drinking, and pour it into the reservoir. And that's how simple our method is. And that's how simple life should be. It shouldn't be overcomplicated. It doesn't need a 2-year shelf life or an infinite life shelf life. Like, it can just be fresh all the time. And so fruit juices is one way. You can foliar spray it too. You know,
Same rate when you boiler spray it, 5 mils per gallon.
you could do like 2. I usually half it. I mean, a lot of these things you can go up to like 15 and not see too much of a problem. But like, because it's so gentle, it's not a microbial product. You know, it's like it's fresh from the fruit, and we're like fruitarians, and we eat mostly fruit. I eat mostly fruit, and when I don't, I get sick, and I start to blow, and I start to get all the problems that I used to have, and it sucks. Being sick sucks. So that's why I eat fruit. And that's why my plants eat fruit.
So we use lots of labs too.
Yeah, we use labs too. Like, we use a lot of, like, all natural farming methods. You know what I mean? Like, we don't use any just one Korean or Japanese or whatever. We just use it all. And a lot of it's in our backyard, and a lot of it's in our kitchen, and a lot of it's just stuff that everybody has. And the better the stronger your apothecary is, the stronger the herbs are that you have access to, the stronger your plants will be. So like, the herbs that we give our plants are exactly the same herbs we use. And not only, so like the GGG natural herbs for plants aren't just, the best plant extracts out there. No, they're like the best human plant extracts out there because we eat them. And I only want the best, and I'll spend as much money as I can to get the best. And then I'm going to use that on my plants. I'm not going to go cheap. I don't know if that makes sense. But like, that's why we do what we do. And that's how we do what we do. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, it just has to be. And that's what Jeff taught me. He taught me, like, we don't buy IKEA. You know what I mean? Because that wood is fake. Do you guys know what that means? That wood at IKEA ain't even wood, It's like formaldehyde and fucking, it's crap.
Yeah, we don't allow that in our house.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother level of fucking living, dude. Like, how, like,
it poisons you, so why, it's the same concept. If we don't allow that kind of crap into our house or to affect us, then we're certainly not going to grow like that, And most of you guys are really hip to growing organic and healthy. But what we just kind of wanted to point out some of the things that we do, that the way we grow is just very spiritual, and most of you guys probably grow with a spiritual sense too. So we're not, we might be preaching to the choir or something, but it all comes down to just really loving what you do. And just, waking up in the morning and having a passion to be doing what you're doing and really showing that love to your plants and basically everybody around you. And,
I do want to say, like, I've learned everything from this guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's the man. Like, he doesn't talk about it, but he's super humble. But, like, he taught me all this shit. So it's pretty cool.
I'm just on a journey, like I believe I'm on a divine journey. So, but I'm not telling anybody that I'm special. See, you all are on a divine journey too, but I just know what I need to do, and I don't talk about my own self because I'm so grateful for being here, and for you all being here. I'm just really grateful, and I'm humble because I'm grateful, and I love you all, and thank you all, from the bottom of my heart. So that's where I don't really know what more to say, and that's about it.
Thank you.
Thanks. But if you have any questions for us, we'll open it up for a question because I know,
I'm sure you guys have some questions.
Do you avoid any fruits in particular when you're thinking about adding fruit juices to the plants?
Okay, the question was, do we avoid any fruits?
In particular.
In particular? Yeah, no, I honestly have never come across anything that I would eat that I wouldn't give my plants,
Okay.
I can't really think of anything.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I got a question with the crystals that you use. Like, where do you get them from? It's just like anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, like, well, do you want to talk about it?
The what?
Well, his question was, where do you get your crystals? Like, you can just get them anywhere. And I mean, crystals are everywhere. Like, just the rocks beneath our feet are full of crystals, just smaller. A lot of the crystals that we use for our pictures are a little bigger because they're prettier. It doesn't mean they're any better. But there are certain stones that just are more powerful too. But like what we like are quartz crystals, and a lot of soil, sand, and the silica and all that is quartz. We like to get larger quartz pieces. It's just something that is easy to work with for meditation, and it's also something that is I find the roots hold on to real easily. And in the case, like kind of to her question, are there any rocks that we would avoid? I do think there are certain minerals that you might want to avoid. That's why I always say like quartz crystal, because it's really safe. It's not gonna have arsenic, or lead, or there's just other stuff that is in other types of minerals like that could be poisonous to people if consumed the wrong way, and could have heavy metals and stuff. So I would just be cautious of that fact and know that like I stick with the clean quartz crystal because I don't want to venture too far into things that might hurt. But there's other things like black tourmaline and other stuff that I know have been used in soil by other people and people have good results with. Also just regular rocks is good. Like regular rocks is full of crystals, and it's grounding, and it's the person who actually kind of inspired me, who told me this idea was Uncle Mike. I don't know if he's here, but he was like, dude, back in the old day, we would put in our planters, like we would take rocks, we would find these big giant rocks and just stick them in, and the roots would just wrap around them and this and that, and it was like his like genius idea, and I was like, well, that's freaking cool. Like I'm gonna do it with crystals, you know what I mean? But it could be a rock, and then it's not my original idea. But like people, like I just like find these things from all over the place, and I'm just like putting them all together. And also crystals in soil is not an original idea from us either. Like people do it in like everywhere. It's not just us. It's just that we talked about it and people made fun of us for it. You know what I mean? Like that's all. But I think that it's just us tapping back into our original. Like crystals, when you squeeze them, produce electricity. How cool is that? However minuscule, it's cool, and like it's just we haven't tapped into it yet.
So you put the whole crystal in the soil and then leave it there, and then the plant grows, and then you can retrieve it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
you
still
can.
there, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, you can just retrieve it, but like sometimes the roots, if it is close to the base of the roots, will wrap around it and like make it hard to pull out until you chop the plant and stuff. Like sometimes I can't pull it out even when it's exposed a little, because of how tightly it's held in it. So that just shows you like there is a lot of pressure on those crystals, and so there is electricity being produced, like how, and that's cool. And I do it and I hold it, I can feel it, and when I use it I could channel it, and it does affect my chakras. I don't know if you guys tapped into that, but like it's like different aspects of yourself and different frequencies of your mind, and like this is all real stuff, and like so I just feel like we just start giving our plants that, so yeah.
What kind of fungus or mushrooms do you select for? Is it just stuff you eat, or do you prepare tea, or how do you prepare those?
That's a good question. Yeah, so the way the mushroom extract is made is they're sourced through my herbalist friend, and basically it's all hot water extraction. So the way they do it is because a lot of these medicinal mushrooms have a chitin-based fruiting body, they are harder to digest by your stomach or without a microbial process. And so what they do is the way it's commonly extracted is either alcohol or hot water. And the way hot waters works is they just brew a tea. Traditionally, this has been what they do is low heat for like hours, and then you get this like dark soup, and that's like reishi tea, or lion chaga tea. Yeah, like that's these are the most medicinal plants with pages upon pages and pages of research if you're into that peer review stuff. And it's about antiviral, anti-cancer, anti-everything. But nobody talks about it. But okay, now the only way for this to work is you can't just wait till you have a problem and then you take it. That's not how it works. And also you can't just take it once a month. You have to take extracts, or you have to take just brews every day. You have to have it every day. If you don't have it every day or multiple times a day, you don't get it. It's just not enough. And then, but when you do that, that's what puts you into like an Olympic state of mind. Like reishi gives you spiritual potency. That's what it's called. The herb of spiritual potency. Like, how cool is that? And it used to actually only be allowed for the emperor in China. This is the legend. And like anybody who found it would have to give it up, or they'd be killed. Our buddy Terrestrial Fungi just did a talk up here and had tons of it. We live in an age where it's plentiful, and we can now grow it in our own homes, and we can have this beautiful mushroom in like infinitums. Like, we can all be spiritually potent, you know what I mean? And this has never happened before. And so it's also probably why they keep taking down my mushroom posts. And like, it's weird. Like, people are afraid of us talking about mushrooms for plants because of how extremely important this knowledge is and how it can impact all of you today, And so like, even just like, you don't have to buy it from us, you don't have to get it, you just have to start learning about it, start utilizing it. So the mushrooms we use, like lion's mane, chaga, turkey tail, reishi, mesema, agaricus blazei, cordyceps, these are all like the highest in triterpenoids, beta-glucans, and other micronutrients known to like increase stamina, increase metabolism, increase mental, like allow you to grow new brain cells, which can't happen without certain compounds. And it's just pretty amazing stuff that we have to take daily. And so those herbs are the herbs that we try to source the best of from the most certified organic sources and the highest quality, that has the best taste, the best flavor, and it feels the best. And that's the stuff that we give our plants. And so the extract for teas, it's the dose is like a quarter teaspoon for a cup of tea. And instead of, so like a very little bit, a quarter teaspoon makes a really potent tea. Now, I sometimes like treat plants like people. Like if it's a person gets a dose, like I would water it down a certain amount for the plants. Can't really think of how I do it exactly right now, but the idea is like that's kind of how I figured out the dosing for the plants. Is like I like cut it back, and I made the tea, and then I diluted that at like 5 mils a gallon or something like that. And so, but the idea is this stuff is really potent, and it'll turn you into a champion. Like, I should just talk about it. You should do it. You should take mushrooms daily. You should take all the mushrooms daily, and you will have tremendous health benefits that you can't, like, it's just as good as weed. It just is just as important as weed. So we do it just as much. All the mushrooms. They're all really good for you. So do them. Yeah. And then like the more you do, the better you'll become. It's like that. So yeah, so that's what we do for our plants. Yep. Any other questions?
You mentioned you use a lot of the quartzes. Have you ever tried using the danbrite?
Danbrite.
Yeah, it's another one they mention with, like, they talk about like a trio of quartz, rose quartz, and danbrite. And like one of them's like the air, one of them's like the soil, and then the rose quartz is like the love.
I gotta look into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So danbrite represents the soil.
I believe so, but I could be mixing them up.
Yeah.
But yeah, because after talking with you guys, I have a friend that's really into crystals and stuff.
Yeah.
And I talked with him, and I had been reading what you guys had said, so I started researching myself, and they really talk about those three together as being like a trinity.
Awesome.
So I was
great. I'll look into
resourcing some myself.
Yeah.
I actually have 2 seeds right now where one of them's got a piece of rose quartz under it, and the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
Just to kind of see what comparisons I get.
Awesome. Yeah, keep us updated.
Will do.
Yeah. Any other questions?
How long can you keep a soil healthy that you're running? Can you keep reusing it, or do you use it once?
So like the question is, how long do we keep the soil healthy? Do we like use no-till, or do we reuse it, or do we just?
Yeah, how long would you reuse it? I mean, if it's living and you're feeding it.
So like Jeff and I, sometimes we try different things. Like right now, so we're always switching up. It's kind of funny. Like we don't have one way of doing things. That's why we can grow in any method, you know. But like right now he's like recycling his soil, re-amending it. So like he likes to turn it and reuse it. Starts like from fresh. We've done no-till. We've done beds, no-till beds. But like what I'm doing right now is starting with fresh M3, using our probiotics and turning it, making it really living, and then having a perfect run through that. And I'm using that soil in my garden. So I'm building like hugelculture beds and all these beds in the back, using the spent soil from the garden, re-amending that, but using it for food. Because like, not because like I don't trust my ability, but I just don't have access to lab testing and this and that. And like what I would rather do, and like I don't want to respond to problems. I want to know exactly what I'm getting, how much it is, and what percent. Like it's the same percentage every time, so that by the end of the run I know exactly where I'm going to be, not hopeful that I'm going to be there, you know. And that's why I like to start with fresh soil. But then like all our food and everything is grown no-till in my backyard and stuff like that. So
You put it in the vegetable garden. Thank you.
yeah. Any other questions?
Do you have any genetics that you're really excited about, or things that are coming up?
What's your favorite strain?
What's okay? The first question was, do we have any genetics we're really
Excited about?
excited about? Some of our Malawi crosses I'm pretty excited about, and Malawi is a landrace strain that I obtained from ACs, and I've been growing their gear for quite a while, and I like to use it in just for my personal use, because I love land races and just to see what they'll do. So I've done little projects with some of their gear, but this right before our raid, Mike had picked out some seeds from a exceptional Malawi plant that we had that was just beautiful, and
Yeah, we called it the cherry limeade because it had that like cherry lime. It's pretty amazing.
yeah. And so those have come into fruition, and I've selected a couple females and one male that I'm going to be using. And I'm already using it with some of the heirlooms. I've used it with the glue and a couple other things that I'm testing right now. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Okay,
And-
wait. So the cool thing about this story is like the cops took everything, right?
Yeah.
But they left a fucking mess. So like, they couldn't take everything. They just spilled everything.
They threw all over the floor.
Yeah, it was like, "Ugh!" It was, but then they're all in boxes. They're all boxed up. Everything's all nice. By the time we left, it was like everywhere, and then like they took most of it. It was weird. Like they had a throwing party, and then but so there were like a few seeds like here and there, you know, and that was one of them. The cherry Malawi, like, you know, random bag seeds, and they are freaking good. So we're growing those right now.
Yeah, it's
They're
it's just something really new and different, and you know, I think that's one of the things we like to do. We like to go in new directions that just because we love it, and going in this direction is something that we really love, and we know you're gonna love it too. So that's what. And what was the second question?
Favorite strains.
Favorite strains. I'll let Mike answer that because he's got some good ones.
Oh, I don't like play favorites.
Yeah, that's hard, man. That's really difficult, you know.
Yeah, and it's always changing, you know.
It's all
Yeah.
Like actually, it's crazy because what I thought was good before is like sometimes not what I think isn't. I don't really think it's as good anymore. I don't know. Just my taste change and stuff. But like you'll notice like our seed menu, we try to have like a variety of stuff, and we try to touch all the different flavors and have, you know, different kind of combinations, because the idea is like, although we do like the Kush and we do like, you know, you'll see certain things that we really kind of like favor, but that's kind of our palate, you know what I mean? Like we kind of go around, but we like to bring things back to Kush. We like sativas, land races. We like things with a lot of frost, a lot of vigor, and things with a lot of spirit, you know. Right now we're working with a lot of clones that we happen to have because that's just what we got after we got out of our fucking rut, you know. Like it's like half of the people that I used to know like stopped talking to me after we got raided. Like nobody wants to do business with us, nobody wants to, you know, it's weird. And so like I just have what I have because I don't even have a good Mendo breath cut right now, you know what I mean? Because I don't really know anybody with Mendo breath. We don't really have too many C's. We're just doing what we have with what we have, but we can really elaborate with very little. Like people are always like, "What are you gonna do if you lose that cut or this?" It's like, dude, we're like, we can do anything, you know, with anything, and that's kind of what you're seeing is like, we're just always looking for the best. We're always refining, but there's never ever one thing that we like. We want to keep it diverse.
I'm really enjoying that Grape Stumper OG Massachusetts cut, though. I really like that a lot when it's grown out well. So that's one of my favorites, I have to say.
Yeah, I think it might even be better than the original. Because
I think
it tastes really good.
To tell you the truth, it is much more enjoyable. The effect
Might not be
you
as
know.
frosty.
It's not as frosty, and it doesn't smell as good, but I don't know. That's my opinion, though.
It smells more like grapes
Right.
than like fuel and rubber and funk. But it's like, it's good. It's really good, and he did a killer job. So if Eric, if you're watching this,
Yeah.
you're the man. Thanks for giving us that cut. It's like saved us and allowed us to be like, you know, do a lot of the stuff we have now, and it's really cool how everything comes together. So yeah, we really want to thank everybody who's here, like Landon, everybody who's like here to support. I mean, all of you. Like it's crazy because, you know, sometimes you don't really know, you know, like you have the support when it's just like, you know, all you hear is a bunch of fucking bullshit or like hate and stuff, but it's cool to see all you guys here, and we had a whole team pull this off, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people put their efforts into making this happen, and it's just fucking amazing, and I'm really grateful, and especially just for everybody that supported us through our ups and downs and just being there for us. So it's been cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks everyone. You're all really great, and each one of you has made this thing happen for us. So thanks.
Yeah, we look forward to having you guys here tomorrow. If any of you guys are coming back, and if you guys aren't coming back, like, we really appreciate everyone being out here, and we hope you guys had a good time. There's snacks inside the house. Please feel free to, like, you know, enjoy the flowers, and we just want everybody to, you know, have a good organic cup. We really thank you guys for standing in the rain and being here for us, I guess. And yeah, we love you. So thank you guys.